Every single year since I started YouTube, I've made a Game of the Year video, and while this year is no different, this video kinda is. For example, one of those differences is that I'm a little late on the January 1st deadline. Things happen, life moves on, but here's the thing. The truth is, I don't have nearly as much time as I would need to play all of the big games that come out every year. And while I do manage to hit a lot of the highlights, I also miss out on a ton every single year because sometimes you need to spend a weekend or two a year hyper fixating on playing Minecraft. If I were to do proper awards this year, here's what would not be on the list. Expedition 33, because I got spoiled while I was on Act 2 and dropped it. Final Fantasy Tactics Remake. Blueprints, because I got mad at a puzzle and gave up. Split Fiction. Ninja Gaiden 4. Battlefield 6. Literally anything on the Switch 2 or PS5, so no Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Death Stranding 2, or Ghost of Yotei. Now, hearing all that, it might cross your mind to think, what the hell did I play this year? And the answer is quite a bit, actually. Even if this was a down year for me, I'm still pretty far beyond what most people usually get around to for new games, and there was no shortage of amazing titles in 2025. So, instead of a Game Awards show, this year and every year moving forward is going to just be the best stuff I played this year, because that's what I can speak on with authority. There's going to be some games on here you've definitely played, and there might be some you've never even heard of before. I hope that regardless, you see something on here that makes you want to go play games. Crack open that game you bought 3 Steam winter sales ago that you still haven't played. You never know what might happen. So, without further ado, here are the best and a few of the worst games that I played in 2025. Megablanc did a rather cruel and unusual thing this year, where it came out of nowhere, cost damn near pennies, and then proceeded to devour my already dwindling free time by the hour. This game is not perfect. Far from it, as a matter of fact. The final bosses are pretty awful. It doesn't always run the best, especially when you really push it to its limits when hunting high scores, but it does the most important thing you can ask of a game like this. It lets you have fun. There are no arbitrary limits on stacking items for balance purposes, which makes a common rarity item like cheese that lets you stack poison unironically one of the best in the game. The developer just put out a big update with a new map and a new meta, and they're even talking about adding more to the game than they already have, which I take as an active threat against the time I would have used to ever finish a video after this one. When it really comes down to it, with a game structured like Megablanc, what you really want after you finish a run is to feel that urge to do just one more. And until that urge eventually goes away, this game is absolutely staying installed for me. Fine. Still on me. Keep looking at
this tower thing, I think.
What the? So what?
Yep. Oh my god! Alright, not gonna lie, this boss is sick as shit.
Yeah, Spirit Bomb.
Silksong was a game that I didn't think was real. Genuinely. It didn't feel like it was ever going to launch, so when it finally did come out and it literally broke the Steam store for half a day, it felt fitting. I think the hardest thing to do with this game, ironically, considering how hard playing the game can be, is talking about it. We all knew that Silksong was going to be more of Hollow Knight, but just how far evolved from the first game that was going to be, and how much more it was going to ask of its players were up in the air. And the answer to both of those questions is a lot more. The game hits harder, like way harder. Everything is scarier, the runbacks are longer, and yet Team Cherry have given players the tools needed to absolutely beat the shit out of everything they throw at us. The only problem being that you have to be extremely good to actually pull it off. That's the problem with sequels. Even with something as phenomenal and expansive as Silksong, there's always going to be that fight between the devs trying to give a new, fresh experience and the player's already innate muscle memory from previous titles bucking against whatever they put into the new game. Silksong is great, as is, but with one DLC already announced and a whole lot more expected down the road, I'm more excited to see what this game looks like in a few years and after a few more balance patches. Also, fuck this thing. Take everything I just said about Silksong and just kind of pretend I was also talking about Hades 2. It's a great game and it lets you do things like this. That's one of the final bosses. Ball X Pit is a game that I didn't expect to like all that much, and if it isn't obvious already, I was wrong, thank God. The sole focus of Ball X Pit is the player having fun and having a satisfying representation of your powers and choices on screen at all times. There is no fat on this game. It is a lean cut injected with all of the juiciest gameplay and GMOs and pick from 3 choices menus you could ask for. Everything from the grand picture down to the tiny little details like how the health bar changes style based on the character you're playing has been thought about and paid more than enough attention to. There are no boring choices in this game, which might seem like something obvious to say, but go with me for a minute. How often do you play roguelikes, even good roguelikes, where you get options like 5% extra crit or 10% lifesteal? Is it useful? Sure. Is it exciting? Not really. Ball X Pit puts all of that boring stat upgrade shit in the base building part of the game, which is where those upgrades are much more exciting because improving your scaling in a stat from D rank to C rank isn't just this run, it's permanent. This game feels to me like it perfectly understands what drives the addicting nature of roguelikes, which is the crazy combos and really seeing your choices affect the screen and not just in the numbers, but visually. Self-contained, satisfying progression that concludes in a genuine ending where you feel like you got so much more out of the game than you put into it.
The blonde blazer and I have ended our relationship. Do you think there is someone else?
I kiss Blazer. I'm not that good of a kisser.
I now believe that you had nothing to do with our breakup.
Skate Story is the first game I've played in a long time that actually managed to be as cool as the trailer made it seem. This is easily the most gorgeous game on this list, and probably this year, to be completely honest. The music here goes above and beyond what is required of it, and just between us, I would highly recommend playing this game with some Mary Jane. The Spider-Man character, Mary Jane.
Wow, great reflexes.
I love skating games, and I've played most of them, including another one that will be talked about on the Wall of Shame in a minute here. But that is to say, it's rare that I see a skating game try something genuinely new. Skate Story does that. It's less about the freeform, hitting the perfect line skating that other games have opted for lately, and more about the feeling you get from skating. That's the thing that sticks out most to me here. Under the trippy and gorgeous visuals, under the thumping of the best OST I heard all year in a year full of insanely good music, is a game that was very obviously made by someone who loves every aspect of skating, from the way the board feels underneath you to landing the trick you kept messing up to those gnarly, bone-shattering falls. This isn't a game trying to appeal to skaters to sell you microtransaction bullshit. It's a game made by a skater for people that love skating. It's remarkably obvious when devs care about their game as much as Sam Eng does, and you should care about it too. Before we get to the best game I played this year, there's one thing I want to carry over from the old format, something I feel I have to keep doing, and that's the Wall of Shame. Every year, I give out anti-awards to some of the worst shit I've played, and on this wall are legendarily awful games like Balan Wonderfuck, Forspoken, Starfield, and others like the Gollum game. But there wasn't anything explicitly unfun or poorly made this year that I played. The theme of 2025 for me was unmet promises and sheer greed. If Skate Story was the coolest game that I played this year, definitely not Skate 4 was the most disappointing. I put almost 30 hours into this slopfest, and while the skating does feel fine, the world, the art, the vibes, it's just all wrong. The more you dig into the game, the more disgusting it becomes, especially because it carries the namesake of some fantastic games. But it doesn't even come close to holding a candle to that title. Truly an embarrassing cash grab if I've ever seen one. Speaking of embarrassing cash grabs, as someone that loves auto battlers and loved Hearthstone, I was happy to support the early access for the Bazaar. I was equally unhappy to see the game go from a very fairly monetized free-to-play game into a game where things that were supposed to be free became not only pay to play, but pay to win. Easily some of the worst community management I've ever seen in a game in a long time, and another game on the pile of ruined by greed. There's also a lot of games that should be on this part of the list, but just aren't. Things like Monster Hunter Wilds, Borderlands 4. I'm very tired of games launching in a hardly playable state, and I would love it if they would just stop doing that, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon. So they aren't on the wall of shame, but they might deserve to be. All right, here we go. I think that this might be the first year, maybe ever, that the game I was most excited for going into the year ended up being the best thing I played at the end of the year. Baby Steps is an all-timer. This is the second collaborative project between Bennett Foddy and Gabe Cazzello, and all I can say is thank God they keep making games together. Alternative control schemes are almost always up my alley. I like when games are intentionally annoying. But when you combine that with how absurdly funny these two are when they write together, and the game manages to keep a through line of a shockingly touching story about the importance of keeping a community in your life, this shapes up to be one of the most satisfying gaming experiences I've had in recent memory. Plus, it's only $20. I don't know exactly how well they're doing with sales on Baby Steps, but I feel like this is one of those games that's only going to grow its positive reputation with time, because finding this level of quality and willingness to be unabashedly silly in the same game almost never happens. Easily the best game that I played in 2025, even if it was an absolutely stacked year. So that's it. The best games I played in 2025. If you have any games I didn't mention you want to make a case for, please share in the comments. Someone else might see it and give it a try themselves. As for me, that's all for now. But really quickly, I wanted to put a little thing at the end, seeing as how it's been a couple days since my last upload. So if you were just here for this video, by all means check out some of my video essays, or not, and thank you for watching. My day job that I'm currently trying to escape from into another career took up a lot of my time. But it's also very sporadic. For example, we need you 80 hours this week and not at all next week, which led to my schedule being very chaotic and my sleep schedule being even worse. I also started editing for some people, which was fun, but took up any free time I had left and led to me being overworked, overtired, and overloaded. The short version of this story is that things should be changing now for the better, and you should see a good bit more of me. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for watching. Talk soon.